We have 2 pounds of ground beef. We're splitting it into 4 pieces. I love this recipe because you can make each piece of beef specific to what your family likes. If they don't like onions, you don't have to put onions. We're gonna put some breadcrumbs, about 1/4 cup, a little less on each one. This is not a meatloaf dish. This is even better. It's a classic American dish. We have 2 eggs in here, and we're just gonna put a very small amount just to help mix everything together. 1/4 cup of ragu or any tomato sauce. We are making a beautiful American Salisbury steak. I guess people have called this like poor man's steak or H-Billy steak. And I separate it like this. I know you could do it all in one bowl, but the cool thing with this, or the reason why I like steak, is because they make it just how I want it. The exact temperature with what I want on it. So if you're making this for your family members, everybody likes different things. So you can make each Salisbury steak to their liking. If they don't like onions, you don't have to put onions inside. If they don't like garlic, don't put garlic. If they don't like tomatoes, don't put tomatoes inside. So I think this is a really cool trick, especially if you're making Salisbury steak. You can make it exactly how they like it. We're gonna finish it off with some mustard. Just like a 1/2 teaspoon of mustard in there. And add a little bit more salt. Awesome, looks really good. Now we're just gonna start mixing these up with our hands and make them into little ovals. So you don't want them to look exactly like a hamburger, but more ovally like a steak. Then we're gonna put on high heat on cast iron. They kind of look like little steaks, right? I have 4 and they just barely fit in the pan, but you wouldn't want to crowd it too much so they cook better. And you want to sear it just for 2 minutes on each side to give it some type of brown. You want it to look like a steak as much as possible. We're gonna flip these babies over. My table outside is a little crooked, so I think a lot of the oil was kind of moving to one side, but they still look pretty good. Nice little steaks. Now we're gonna take it off the pan, and we're still gonna use all the juices in the pan and let that just sit to the side for a little while we make the most important part. Look at that, looks great. All right, we have 1 whole onion. You could use more onions if you'd like. Just brown the onions real quick. Mix them around in all the juice. Next, we are gonna add some white mushrooms that I sliced up. Now we're just gonna cook it for another couple minutes till they're nice and brown. Then we're gonna put our steaks back, our Salisbury steaks. Now we're gonna season that mixture on the bottom with some onion powder, some garlic salt, and this is really up to you, or you could find some easier recipes online. Some Worcestershire sauce, oh, a lot more than I planned to, but hey, I do love the strong flavor it gives. So gonna add some fresh cracked pepper in here. It smells amazing. And we're gonna put a little over 2 cups of broth. Any broth works, whatever you got in the fridge. I feel like this recipe simple enough to where you might have most of the ingredients in your fridge. You just might need, I'm not sure, maybe the mushrooms. And we're gonna cover it for about 15 minutes. Next, we are going to put some cornstarch in there. Now we have a lot of liquid, so about a half of a cup of cornstarch with just a little bit of more broth to mix it together. And this mixture is going to thicken up that sauce we have below. So just slowly mix it all over everything, and it'll thicken everything up. Especially when it cools down, it's nice and thick. And you want the temperature to be over 160. So anything over that is good. And yeah, looks perfectly cooked. Nice, safe, wonderful to eat. Let's plate it up. You want to use some mashed potatoes if you have some in your fridge. Goes great with Salisbury steak. Guys, doesn't this look great? I've never made Salisbury steaks before, but I'm a fan now. You want to get that sauce, that juice, those mushrooms, those onions, all the flavors in there. You just want to pour that all over the mashed potatoes. Look at that. Salisbury steak with mashed potatoes. You know, I never questioned what Salisbury steak was, but it's like a poor man's steak, you know? And I've always liked Salisbury steak. Cheers. It tastes really good, guys. Try making this at home. Hope you enjoy it.